Welcome to Meaningful Mondays with the Community Foundation of Middlesex County, where we only know good people who do great things in our community. Whether you are a volunteer, a donor, or a nonprofit organization, each episode of Meaningful Mondays will celebrate you, our friends and neighbors who have a deep passion for and commitment to improving the quality of life for all in Middlesex County. So let's kick off the week with great conversations with remarkable people, businesses, and nonprofits making a difference right in our own backyard. Well, welcome, everybody. It's Meaningful Monday in Middlesex County, but you know the Community Foundation only has meaningful days every day, and we only know good people who do great things. So I'm honored to have three of those folks, Christine, Ann, and Bill. I'm going to ask you each to introduce yourselves and your organizations in a little bit. However, Christine, I'm going to start and hand the mic to you because you've got some, as my brother would say when he was too splaining to do.
Sure. So I'm Christine Cachuela. I'm the director of the East Hampton Public Library. And every Tuesday during our summer reading program are Library Spirit Days. So there's a different theme each Tuesday, and all of the staff, and then we also invite patrons to dress up in that week's theme. They get extra raffle tickets for summer reading for doing it. And it's just so much fun. We probably have about 75 to 100 people who participate in it each week, and they get really involved, really intricate costumes, and it's just a blast. So this week is Western Week, and so I am a cowgirl.
We should have been forewarned. And so even though it's Meaningful Mondays, it's airing on a Monday, but we're glad you have a Meaningful Tuesday in East Hampton too. So Ann, how about you? Introduce yourself to everybody, and then I'll start with my questions.
Hi, I'm Ann Thompson. I'm the executive director at the Essex Library Association in beautiful downtown Essex.
Absolutely. And Bill is, as you wear two hats, you're not only, and I'll explain our pop-up grants in a minute, but you're not only with the Historical Society, you were the nominator.
Yeah, I was very, very pleased to get my name pulled out of the hat.
So tell us about your organization and your involvement.
Yeah, I'm on the board of directors of the Haddam Historical Society, and our mission is to collect and interpret and preserve, the history of Haddam.
Well, now we're going to ask all of you to, after I explain what a pop-up grant is, because some of our viewers may not know what they are. And just to segue into that, they're little surprises. It's a way for the Community Foundation to have a little fun and to honor all of the great things that all of our nonprofits do. And they're small grants. We think they can make a difference. They're a surprise. And Bill, the nominator, we ask everybody to send in your nominations, write a little something, and then we put them in a bowl, pull them out. And this time we just wanted to do more than one. We usually do one. So this time, because it's summer, we want to have a lot of fun. So it's just really our way of giving back to you who give us so much in your communities. Now, I understand from the notes and the research that we did, there are things that probably most people don't know about what you do, or the little secret services that you do. And Bill, I think Haddam has a couple of surprises that people are going to learn today. So I'm going to start with you, Christine. Tell us about your library and what do you think makes it so special? And I'll start with you. All of your organizations are the backbone of the community. Bill, thank you for keeping the past present. Ladies, you are the centers of the universe in each of your towns. So you know that we're fans. So Christine?
Sure. So I think that most people, when they think of libraries, they just think, oh, books, audiobooks, that kind of thing. Here in East Hampton, we've really tried to go beyond that. We have a pretty extensive library of things collection, so people can come here and they can check out kayaks and stand-up paddleboards to use on our lake. We have a carpet cleaner. We have all kinds of things useful things like for home improvement projects, but also just fun things. If you wanted to see if you're interested in learning to play the ukulele, we have a ukulele you can check out and just give it a try.
In
And
your own
so,
closet, right? In case you're just learning.
yeah. So we really just try to bring, new exciting services to the community all the time. And I think what really has made East Hampton special for me is just, I think there is a lot of community spirit, which hasn't always been the case in other towns that I've worked in. I think people in this area just really, they love big, all ages, fun family community events and kind of getting together to build that spirit. And so we try to do a lot of that, both on our own and with other organizations in the area. So it's just a lot of fun.
All right, keeping with the library theme, and libraries are a lot of fun. And tell us a little bit about Essex Library. I walk by it every morning. I think it's absolutely great. And what are some of the hidden gems of things that you do that maybe people don't know about?
Well, just like East Hampton, and I think it's not relegated only to Central Connecticut, but I think the Central Connecticut libraries are very much looking towards one another to compete. Not that we're rivals, but we like to keep up with one another. We also have a library of things. We have a large collection of games for kids and adults, and outdoor games that we think families would like to play during climate weather, whether you're having a birthday party for a 2 or a 5-year-old and you don't want to go out and get all those games for all those kids, you can borrow them at the library. We have a piano keyboard that can be borrowed just in case you have a musical finger that you want to put to work here or there. But we also have the typical Wi-Fi hotspots, a lot of travel tools, Chromebooks that you can take home and borrow, those sorts of things as well. But I agree also with Christine that the community spirit in these towns nearby is almost brings a tear to your eye. It's sort of like a Hallmark movie with people in the community, and particularly where we have a fair amount of new residents who are coming into the community. One of the first things they do is come get a library card. Even if they can afford to buy their own books or go out to museums and pay the ticket price of museums. We have people who are coming in and downloading books, streaming videos, doing home delivery that we will make sure that anybody who's homebound gets home delivery and pickup. We're collaborating way more, I think, in the last few years with other nonprofits in town. And there's such a good feeling when somebody new to town comes in and says, what can I do? And almost, every nonprofit in town waves a hand, and we watch people who volunteer not only for the library maybe, but also for the garden club or the land trust or historical society or the river museum. I mean, it goes on, and it makes the community fabric so much stronger because there's so much more invested in how everybody who lives in the town is doing.
If I'm not mistaken, you both offer home delivery?
Yes, we do as well.
I think that's so fabulous because I think of people, fell off your bike, which I did, and all of a sudden you're homebound. It would be so nice to have that. And am I also correct in you both have notary services?
Yes, we have 2 notaries on staff to try to give people the opportunity to come when maybe the town clerk's office is closed or, they don't want to have to leave work early. They'll have maybe an evening option.
My gosh, one-stop shopping. And I think
And I should add that we offer our notary services for free. I know there are other places where you get something notarized and they charge as much as $25 per notarization. So we always say, if you have to have something notarized, you're already in enough trouble that you don't need any extra cost added to that.
Love it. All right. And one last question for you, Anne. Book a librarian?
Book a librarian. Speaking of illegal acts. Oh, you can book a librarian here. We offer individual service. We found that when we taught computer or digital skills to a group, that there was such a variation among skill levels that it was just easier to teach people one-on-one. And so we've been doing that now for, oh gosh, I want to say almost 20 years.
Oh, that's great.
And so it's regardless of where you are in your level of expertise, we can teach you the very basics of moving a mouse or getting more skilled at different software packages. We don't go to your home. That's the one thing we won't do. We don't do home visits for that, but we can teach you almost anything else. I actually had a patron who came in who had a brand new job and needed to level up, not for summer reading, but he needed to level up his skills for this job. And I realized, and it was a very, very high security level job. And he came to the library to get those skills. He didn't want to tell his employer that he needed a little extra help. But he came to the library a couple of times so that we got him up where he needed to be and felt confident about what he was doing. So it's those kinds of things where you just never know, what you're going to be asked to do, but we're confident about being able to do it.
My gosh. Well, when in doubt, we call a library.
Exactly.
Right, exactly. So thank you for that. Bill, we're not leaving you out, but one thing I learned, and I used to live in Haddam, I didn't know there were two museums. So tell us all about what you do.
That's a recent development.
Okay.
It's always been the Thankful Donald House. That's our main museum. And we just acquired, I say within the last year, the Shad Museum, which was on Saybrook Road, and now we moved it to the old Haddam Elementary School grounds. And we are in the process of fixing it up and building a handicap access ramp and open that up to public. So I don't think it's open yet, but we're very close.
Oh my gosh! And the Shad Shack, right? That was on one.
Well, there is the Shad Shack, which is down Saybrook Road, but this is the Shad Museum.
Okay.
And it's got pictures and maps and articles about the shad fishing industry on the Connecticut River.
Wow.
Yeah, it was some local guy just got fascinated by it, collected all this, and then has passed it on to the Historical Society. So
do they teach how to bone shad? Because I understand that's quite an art.
Well, we don't teach it, but I imagine in the future we'll probably have some shad bakes as some of the events.
Oh my gosh. And tell us a little bit about the Thankful Arnold House. And also, how did that get started? Because I think that in and of itself is a wonderful story.
Yeah, well, the Thankful Arnold, she's a widow, and she lived in this house late 1800s, early 1900s. And unlike most widows, she did not remarry. She continued to run the various businesses and shops in the Thankful Arnold House, she had 12 kids, 2 died in, childbirth, but she had, 10 kids in this little tiny house, just making ends meet, which is very unusual, back in the day. It's a beautiful, beautiful museum.
It really is. And how did the Historical Society get started? Wasn't there a group of women that said, come on?
Well, I do not know. I am a new resident of Haddam.
Okay.
But I do know that, one of our mottos is that it's not your mother's historical society. It's a fun group, doing very serious work. But to be frank, I don't know how it got started. But
I think if memory serves me correctly, there were a group of women who said, "Come on, we're gonna get everybody engaged in civic things and keep the history of Haddam going," which is pretty interesting. So I don't know. You're a fun group, Bill. You're a fun group, Christine, and we know you have a lot of fun. So what keeps you up at night? So seriously, I mean, the nonprofit world is really, we need volunteers. We certainly need, we want to bring revenue to you because you do such great work. But if you had a wish list, and I know this is probably a question I didn't put forward to you before, but is there a wish list that you have about things that you want everybody out there to know? Gee, if you've got a couple of hours, come volunteer, that kind of thing. And anything?
Well, I can be very specific what's keeping me up at night. We submitted for a congressionally directed spending grant in 2024, and we have submitted again in 2025. And I just can't overstate how proud I am about our Board of Trustees who has approved. It's a matching grant, so they've approved the matching money to spend out of our endowment. And this is for a boatload of projects, both to refurbish completely the inside of the library that hasn't been touched really since 2005. So new furniture, new lighting, new carpeting, new paint on the walls, repairs to the mechanicals, you name it, it's probably going to get touched. Replacement of the in-ground oil tank, and then a complete re-landscape design of the outside so that we can include outdoor education, perhaps a story
Nice.
walk. We really want, on the very small footprint that we have, we really want to be able to include outdoor activities because right now the landscaping doesn't really allow for that. So we've gotten a very lovely pledge from a family in town to help us with the landscape costs. The Clark family has donated $50,000 towards the construction of 2 study rooms and the custom-made local history bookcase that are underway. So funding for that is what keeps me up all night long.
Well, no, and that's, we want you to be honest, and we want people to hear what your needs are, and you are a resource. And so we always say, come on, you're a resource, let's support. Christine, how about you?
You mentioned volunteers earlier, so we always refer our volunteers to our Friends of the Library group, who really have just made so many things possible for us that we would never be able to do otherwise. They're the primary sponsor of our summer reading program. They fund a series of children's paint nights, and just a lot of those big community events I was talking about that we just couldn't do otherwise. Funding, I think a lot of towns across Connecticut have seen is just, it's contentious these days and it's really hard. We always have a space issue here. It's hard for us to throw the kind of large scale programs that we want, but partnering with groups like our friends really make that possible. So I always try to send people their way. If they use the library, if they appreciate our services and they want to give back, that's a great way to do it.
I think that's a great way to put it. And somebody else talked about that too. If you use a trail, donate to your land trust. And, if you enjoy the history of your town, donate to the Historical Society. So, Bill, you're new to the area. So what got you involved in the first place?
Well, the Thankful Arnold House is 2 doors down from me. So we
Oh,
moved here. And,
okay. They saw you coming, walking right by, huh?
great way to meet people and get involved in the community. So yeah, that was a no-brainer for us.
Oh my gosh. And for all of you, think about what's coming up, because we know people, and honestly, we are very surprised and pleased at how many people listen to our podcast. So you are truly rock stars now. So think about the things that are coming up and what you want people to know they can look forward to, and maybe come learn a little bit more about you and then sign up to volunteer. Bill, anything coming up for the Haddam Historical Society?
Absolutely. We just had our croquet and Chardonnay event. We are fixing to have our pig roast and live music at the Thankful Arnold House. I'm afraid by this time this airs, it's already happened. But in the fall, we're going to have a tour of the old Middlesex jail on Saybrook Road.
Right.
And as we have done, except for COVID years, we are going to be hosting the Connecticut Antique Show. We used to have it in Hartford, and for various reasons, we lost that venue. We had it at the old elementary school last year, and we're going to be hosting it at the middle intermediate school this fall, I think mid-October.
And so I'm a Antique Roadshow freak, and I love that show. So do we just sign up and come and bring our antiques?
No, it's these are vendors. These are
okay.
Probably half of the show are these vendors that have these antiques that they show and sell. And last year we had local craftsmen that specialized in antique homes, stoneworks, maintenance, and things like that.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that really is good. When is it?
It's October, I think 10 and 11.
All right. Okay, sign me up. And how about you? What's coming up?
Oh, we've got tons and tons and stuff. I'm trying to think what's happening between August, September, and October. So our friends are having a 2-night, not a 2-night long, but over 2 nights, a cocktail fundraiser down at the Dauntless Yacht Club, which is a private house. But it's got beautiful views over the Connecticut River. And it's the first time they will have done that. It looks like it'll be a really fun event. From 4 to 6, and that's on September 13th and 14th. We've got Sam Tannenhouse, who is coming to speak on his brand new book, Buckley, about William F. Buckley Jr. That's going to be a big program for us. We've got tons and tons of kids programs happening that are doing really wonderful things. And the awe stations that were funded through, in part, well, almost completely through CFMC, are ever more popular, particularly over the summer. But that I know will come through all over into the fall as well. We've got the Friends book sale that comes up in October that people are really looking forward to twice a year. It's a big, big weekend for us to get people in and enjoy the books. We'll have a local author group coming in September, panels of local authors. We'll be able to talk about their books. That's a first for us. We're looking forward to that. The construction will be ongoing. So we're going to be in a bit of chaos, but we're going to put people where we can find places for them to be, particularly students who are being tutored, the remote workers who need some space, things like that. So it should be a very, very busy fall, but we're looking forward to it.
Oh my gosh. And you can carry it off. It'll be structured chaos. So Christine, what about you? How can you follow what these two folks have going on?
So we are having a big end of summer reading party on August 15th. It's on one of the grounds of the local schools in town. We're going to have a petting zoo, a tie-dye party, free snow cones for everybody. And so that will be a ton of fun, a nice way to really wrap up our summer reading program. And then, as Anne was saying, just a ton of our, regular fall offerings. As you can imagine from the costume, we really go all out for Halloween. And so
I can only imagine
activities for all ages all through October, which is really fun.
So I have a couple of things to ask you or to say. So number one, the Community Foundation of Middlesex County is so honored to work with all of you. I mean, what would our community be without volunteers and wonderful organizations such as the three of you? You really do inspire us every single day. So our small pop-up grant, I hope, will go a long way for you. But we love the surprise element of that kind of thing. So I really do appreciate your being with us. And you truly are the rock stars, and you really do need to think about this. We consider you the rock stars of your own community, because what would people do without our libraries, the notary services, the books, what do you do surfboards, or what kind of boards, Christine, that you loan
stand-up paddle boards?
Okay. So it's like, when in doubt, you go there. And Bill, we're so glad you moved to the area, and we're so glad you live right next door to where you're volunteering. But there's so much history in where we live, and keeping it local and keeping it going forward, we really do appreciate it. And I will say that everything going on, what I'm hearing from everybody is that they love where they live and they really want to get involved. So if this can help in any small way, we're very, very happy. So one last question. With all that's going on in your lives, what are you looking forward to? Just one thing for you in the next month or so. Bill, I'll start with you.
Gosh, I'm looking forward to no heat and humidity.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to fall. That's my favorite time of year in New England, and cool air, walks in the woods, and just avoiding the air conditioning.
Right. Well, we have lots of cranky Yankees this summer, don't we? But yes, I think we all agree with you. Anne, how about you?
Well, we're launching 2 new book groups. One that just had its first meeting back in June. We're partnering with the Essex Historical Society on Connecticut history. So all the books have to do with Connecticut history, and we had a blast with the first one. So I'm looking forward to that. But we're also starting another one, collaboration with Southeastern Connecticut World Affairs Council, SECWAC to those who know, and so that's going to be a continuation of our Great Decisions discussions. That group had so much fun over the spring that they wanted to continue meeting, but over books. So that's going to launch in the next month or so too. So I'm really looking forward to those meetings.
Christine, what costumes are you looking forward to?
We have not picked our trunk or treat theme for this year yet, so I'm not sure how we'll be dressing. But I can say later today we have a therapy dog coming in for the kids to read to, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing her. And personally, I have my own new puppy at home right now, so I'm just always looking forward to spending time with her.
You're really busy. Well, ladies and gentlemen who are watching these 3 rock stars, you'll never be bored in East Hampton, Essex, or Haddam, or anywhere in Middlesex County. And as we always say here, we only know good people who do great things. And I thank you so much for being part of our Meaningful Monday series.
Thank you
for having us.
Thank you.
Our pleasure. Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Meaningful Mondays. At the Community Foundation of Middlesex County, we know that philanthropy matters and philanthropy works. Together, we support the arts, education, human services, animal welfare, the environment, heritage enhancements, and so much more by providing services, programs, and grants to our local nonprofits. We invite you to learn more and share your passion with us. Visit us at middlesexcountykcf.org or contact us at 860-347-0025. Together we can make great things happen.